Hello, Sipsters. Welcome back to the Sippin' on Stories podcast. I'm Mandy Corey, your host, and I'm so delighted to have you here with me today for this episode. Can I just let all of you know that one of my all-time favorite things to do is to interact with you guys via DMs about the episodes that you're listening to, things that you can relate to me on, and whatnot. So please keep doing that. It brings me so much joy. I know that I've told you that I would tell you what I have been up to the last little bit, and I'm going to do that. But I decided I'm going to do that at the end of today's episode, so stay tuned for that. Right now, I'm just going to jump right in to the episode. We have Heather to tell us a story about a time that she was saved by search and rescue. So here is Heather for today's episode. I won't do too much of an introduction. I'll just say we have Heather here for the podcast today. And Heather, my question to everybody is, what is your favorite drink?
Well, my absolute favorite drink is really boring. It's water. When I was younger, I loved soda and I craved soda all the time. But somewhere in my adulthood, I got tired of soda. It didn't taste good to me anymore. It wasn't satisfying. And I started drinking water, and it's been the best. But I still, occasionally, I still enjoy a soda as a treat, or, you know, if we're doing burgers or pizza, or you know, doing a barbecue or whatever.
It's extra good with the burgers or a pizza. It really is.
Yeah. So I still enjoy it every now and then, but I feel like I enjoy it because I don't drink it anymore. So it's like, I don't know. It just lost its flavor for me. So.
And if you do have one, what's the one you're grabbing?
Probably a root beer. I've always been a root beer girl. But sometimes I'll go for like a Sprite or like a cream soda. I love cream soda as well.
I love cream soda too.
Yeah.
I bought some because I drink diet now on all of my sodas. So I bought the diet cream soda and I was like, this is a delicious treat. That was nice. And in fact, I should buy some more of those, but they're good.
Yeah, they're good. Sometimes I forget and I'll have a cream soda and I'm like, oh, this is so good. I really need to drink this more. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Heather is going to tell us a story about a time she was rescued by search and rescue.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just going to let you start.
Alrighty. So I actually grew up in Michigan until I was about 16. My family moved to Montana. So in Michigan, we grew up, I was right on Lake Michigan is where my hometown was. So we didn't have mountains out there. It was just a hilly place. It was a beach town. I spent my summers on the sailboat and on the beach.
So nice.
Yeah.
It's like ideal summers.
It really was. It was really an ideal place. So a year after my family moved to Montana, and we were in a valley that's kind of a narrow valley. It's the Bitterroot Valley, if anybody's familiar with that.
What town were you in?
It's Hamilton.
Okay.
So it's just south of Missoula. Missoula's kind of actually like at the tip of the valley. So gorgeous place. There's a bunch of canyons that just like end in that, and that valley is like where a bunch of canyons just come in. So my family decided that we would do a family reunion. I think it was just my dad's side of the family that we did it with. I'm not sure why that was the side we picked, but whatever. That was the side that came. At least that's what I remember. I just remember some of those family there. So, and I think it was because we were finally close to family, because all the rest of the family was out west. We were kind of the only family that was east or
Were
Midwestern.
they all in Montana? Or?
No, they were mostly Utah. There were some from California. I think my grandma came, and she actually was in Hawaii. And I think my dad's sister that was also in Hawaii, I think she also came. Okay. So we had a few far-flung, but his sister from Utah and her family, they came. So yeah, my mom was born in Oregon. My dad, his roots were mostly Utah. He was kind of all over. He was actually born in Panama because his dad was in the military.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So it was kind of nice, like for my family, for my parents anyhow, to like come back west
and be around some of them
and be around family and stuff. And so I think they kind of wanted to show off, our house, and we had some horses, and they wanted to show off this beautiful area. And so we loaded up the horses, and there was a campground up in this canyon, Blodgett Canyon, and from there was a trail that went up that you could either hike on or you could take horses on there as well. And so we were up in there, and there's a lot of like cliffs and stuff. I'd actually never really been back on the trail that I remember.
How old were you?
I was 16.
Okay.
So almost 17. It was like the summer right before I turned 17.
Okay.
So yeah, our family was up there. We were at this campground, and my best friend that she lived across the street from us. So she was somebody that I met after we moved, and we became good friends. Her name was Wendy. My parents let me invite her to come with us also. And then there was a young boy. His name was Mark, and he was up there also. And so some of the people decided to go walk up on the trail, and a lot of the cousins and aunts and stuff wanted to ride horseback. And so they went. My dad took them on a party up and into the canyon on horseback. But myself and my younger brother, Scott, and then my best friend Wendy, and then Mark, we stayed back in the campground. And there were some other people too. Like I'm sure my grandma didn't go on horseback or go on the hike.
Yeah.
But there were a few people back. I know my mom stayed back. And so at some point in time, we're looking around and just kind of started exploring the campground a little bit. And at the base of part of the mountain, at least where you could see from the campground, there was like lots of big rocks, big boulders and stuff. And they looked kind of cool. And, I didn't grow up around this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to go explore this.
Of course.
So I think we kind of took a little trail kind of off through the campground a little bit. Like it wasn't part of the hiking trail, but it was just a little trail through the campground, and kind of wound our way over to where these rocks were at. And we were just kind of climbing over them. And maybe my brother or somebody, or maybe it was even me, I don't remember. We're like, well, let's try and go a little higher. Like, what's up there?
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious.
You're a kid.
Yeah.
Well, teenager, I guess.
Yeah. What's around the corner? What's up, at the next little height and stuff. So we kind of went a little bit higher, and we found some spots that kind of looked like a little trail up the side of this. And so we're going along, and I don't remember this. My mom says that I told her this, but I don't remember it anymore. Because this was like over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So my memory's a little bit hazy sometimes on the details. But she says that I told her that at one point in time, there was like a narrow ledge going up the side of this that we were on. And sometimes it was a little wider and stuff. But there was one spot where it was really narrow, and my foot slipped. And I told her that I felt somebody like actually lift up my foot and put it back on the trail. Which
that's an interesting detail to
I'm
not
surprised I don't remember that.
Yeah, but also why would you make that up?
Right,
So
exactly. Yeah,
probably really did happen if she says that.
And I think it really rattled me, and it does make sense that maybe that's because I do remember a spot where I was really, really nervous,
mm-hmm.
and my best friend, she actually, because I think I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to go any further, guys. And
were they like kind of in the lead and you're following, or?
I'm not sure. I think sometimes our order changed or
mm-hmm.
whatever, but she actually like stood on the edge of this narrow path and like leaned over and put her hands like on the side of the mountain or the cliff, and had me like walk under. So she was like a
bridge.
tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
And I always call it a bridge too, but I'm like, actually, because it's more like a tunnel.
She was
what I
the
used to
bridge.
say. She
You
was
were
my
going to the
bridge,
tunnel.
but she was like a tunnel. Yeah. So, so I would like walk through there because she was like, I'll just, she's like, I'll just stand here. And that way, you won't fall. Cause I was like really scared. So I think like my foot had already slipped or something probably. And so I was like, I don't know. But they were like, come on, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So, she did that, which is kind of funny to look back. Cause I'm like, if I fell, she would have gone too.
She definitely would have gone down. That was not safe for her at all.
Yeah. But when you're in the moment and when you're young, you're like, oh, yeah, sure, that makes sense.
Like, I was a lot bigger of a risk taker back when I was 16, 17 than I am now, for sure.
Yeah. So, I'm like, that probably wasn't very smart, but
still,
she was trying to be brave.
She was.
Keep me safe and make me feel encouraged.
And she did.
To like keep going. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I kept going up and we just kept getting higher and higher. And there were times where I was nervous and I would look down and I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, it'll be fine. Let's go higher, guys. And I think there were a couple times where I was like, I'm done. I don't want to, do this anymore. I'm getting nervous about the going back down part.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, if it's already a little bit hard, scary going up,
it's gonna feel
going
harder,
down,
scarier
it's
going
probably
down.
going to be a little bit, I think there was a spot where a couple of times where I was like, I just want to, go back down, but wasn't sure. And they would encourage me and, I would keep going. And then there was like kind of a little bit of I just call it a cliff because I don't know what else to call it. But it was, the whole thing was kind of a cliff. But it was just kind of more of like you had to climb up to get up onto like a ledge.
Yeah.
So it was kind
You're
of
climbing up like a flat.
Yeah.
A cliff.
Yeah. There's like no trail to go on or anything or rocks to climb on to get like you have to climb up on this. And I was like, I don't know. And they were like, no, it'll be fine. And I kind of pushed and pulled and helped me get up on it. And they're like, see, it's fine. The rest of the way won't be so bad. And then we kind of got to another spot where I think it was a bigger one. And I'm like, I don't think so, guys. I'm done. But like where I was at wasn't really a great spot either.
To just like hang out.
Yeah. And they're like, it'll be better up here on this ledge and stuff. Just get up here. Like, come on, just come up a little higher. And I just was like, I don't know, but they convinced me. And
was your brother older or younger?
He was younger.
Okay.
So we're like less than 2 years apart.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to envision this happening. And I'm like, is it an older brother trying to like encourage his little sister or the other way around? So,
no. Yeah. My younger brother and my friend. And I vaguely remember Mark. He was there. I don't remember him saying anything much, but he was there.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if Wendy was encouraging me or if most of the encouragement came from my brother. I really don't remember.
Yeah.
But I just remember, they were kind of like, let's keep going. And so, and I couldn't really pull myself up onto this ledge. So they, again, they like, I think they
hoisting
me and pulling me. And I'm like, so I get up on this ledge and I sit down and I'm looking out and we're pretty high up. Like there's still a long ways to go. It's a huge, huge rock cliff. But, I think in comparison, we probably weren't like very far up the mountain, but like looking down, like the campground, like people looked like ants.
Yeah,
they were
like
small.
you were still up pretty high.
Yeah, I was still up high enough. Yeah. And, I didn't grow up in places where you got that high.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of scared and I have always been kind of scared of like heights and being close to the edge. Like if I'm far from the edge, I'm fine. But, if I get up close to the edge, that really scares me.
Yeah, I'm always afraid if I'm standing near the edge, somehow my body's just going to be like, whoop,
Yeah.
and off I go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, even like if you're in building, like I remember our family, we visited the St. Louis Arch, and it has that viewing, and like you're like tilted forward looking out over, and I'm like, this is really cool, but like this is really scary.
Yeah.
Get me off.
So this was not a great place to be for you with that.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm thinking, I already had some scary spots getting up to where I was at. And I'm up here really high, and I'm thinking somehow I have to get back down. And I'm like, I couldn't even get up on this ledge myself. How am I going to safely get down off of this without breaking my neck?
Yeah.
And I just told them, I said, I'm not moving. And they're like, we'll help you. We'll help you get down. Because I was like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going any higher. This is it. And maybe they tried to convince me first to go higher. I don't remember. But I'm pretty stubborn when I want to be.
Yeah.
and my stubbornness
Took
set
over.
in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was like, I am not moving from here. I'm like, you're going to have to get a helicopter to get me off of this because I'm not moving. And they like started realizing like,
she's serious.
I'm serious. Yeah. And because they were like, well, we can help you get down, you know? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I do not see a way I can get off this cliff without hurting myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just sat there and I'm like, I'm done. And they're like, okay.
Yeah. Now what?
Yeah. And so we're like, well, we could see the campsite down there. So I thought, well, maybe if we just really yell really loud, we could get somebody to look up here. And if we wave our arms or something, you know, and holler help, you know, maybe somebody down there can call for some help. Mm-hmm. And so we tried that, but
that obviously didn't work.
We were too far up.
Yeah.
They couldn't hear, so we would all try and holler at the same time as loud as we could, and it just wasn't going to work. Mm-hmm. And so then we started thinking, well, somebody's going to have to go down. And so I think it was my brother and Mark that went down, because I remember my friend Wendy stayed with me. Mm-hmm. It's a little fuzzy. Like, I kind of remember my brother being there, but I also remember him not being there.
Yeah.
So, but I think he must have maybe gone down with Mark. So they went down to the campsite, and like at that time, like my mom, she had stayed back from going on the trail, but she and some others decided to go walking on the trail. Mm-hmm. And so they were gone from the campsite, but there were some people there. I think like my grandma was there, and I think maybe one of my aunts was there, some of the older people. So, but I'm not sure if they went to them or they just found somebody in the campsite and got them to call for help.
Do you remember, like, yeah, I know it was a while ago, but do you remember how long you were waiting for them to get back down?
It felt like forever. Mm-hmm. It felt like forever.
Like hours? Or
it felt like it. I honestly don't know how long it was. Mm-hmm. I do remember, like, I feel like I remember the sun, watching the sun starting to get like lower in the sky, and wondering like,
am I gonna be saved?
Yeah, like, are they gonna come or what? And I'm watching the skies. I'm like, I want this helicopter to come, right?
Yeah.
They can just lower down
pick
a
me
harness
up
or something, pick me up. But it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. In my mind it does. I haven't got to that part of the story yet.
But so they called search and rescue, and they came, and it did take a long time for search and rescue to get there. I don't remember like how long, if it was like an hour, couple hours for them to get there. It's not like it was a hard to reach place. It was an easy road to drive down to get to the campground. But like once they actually got there, they got up that mountain really fast. They got to me really fast. They like just climbed right up, and they put me in a harness to kind of like, I think they kind of had me rappel down like over like that ledge and kind of that next one over it. So it wasn't like a huge rappel. It was really just like a jump down and a, maybe a couple jumps down where you just leap out and swing back, or I can't even remember like if I like pushed off or if they had me just kind of like walk my feet down.
Yeah.
I can't even remember, but I was kind of excited because I always wanted to rappel.
Yeah. Like, yes.
It was like all of like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I could check that off my list, sort of.
Well, I could count it.
Yeah, it counts, sort of. So I did that, and then so they did that for myself and my friend Wendy, even though she could have like totally gone down. She wasn't scared or anything. All I needed was just help getting down those ledges, and the rest of the way wouldn't have been so bad probably. But they insisted on holding on to me, one person on each side, and walking me all the way down, and I felt ridiculous the way.
Like how do you mean? Like
they would. Like, because they came up a different way than we did.
Okay, yeah.
So the way we came up was longer and more difficult. The way they went down was really easy. And I had somebody on each side, like, holding on to my arms to help keep me steady so I don't fall.
Yeah.
And, like, literally walk down
with
me on the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I can do this.
I'm so fine.
Like, they were going to make sure.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, even like, especially when we got down to like, it was really flat and you're pretty much in the campground, they were still holding on to me. And then like when they saw my family, then they're like, you're fine, right? You can make it the rest of the way. I'm like, yeah.
Were they carrying Wendy as well? They were carrying both of you. Okay.
Yes.
So she's like, also probably like, guys, I really am fine.
Yeah. She's like, I wasn't in trouble. I was just there to keep her company.
Yeah.
I'm fine. So, yeah. So it was kind of really embarrassing that, like, the way they held on to me and stuff. And it was really, like, because it was really fast getting down.
Yeah.
It did not take them long to get up, and it did not take us long to get down. And I'm like, what the heck? Because, like, this was... The way we went was a lot harder and longer, like a lot more scary. Yeah. Like, if I'd have known there was an easy way down, like, I don't know, I probably still would have wanted to get back down off the ledge part because I was terrified. And so that stubbornness just set in, and I was like, that's it. I'm not going anywhere, guys.
Do you remember if they felt like big macho men? Like, because I feel like when I think of that profession, I mean, really, even when I think of Brit, I have a vision in my head of what they are going to, like, I don't know, big and bad, like, we're really cool,
the big muscular,
like coming in to save the day. Like, do you remember feeling that way? Or
I don't. I honestly don't remember them, but I don't remember thinking like anything special about them. They were just like normal people. Yeah,
which they really probably were.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And they were probably like, for real? We have to get this girl down this.
Do you know if there was like, do you have to pay like a fine or anything for using search and rescue?
I really don't know.
I could ask
if so, my parents didn't say anything to me about it. I really don't know.
I should find that out.
I feel like you do. I sort of feel like there was something about that, and if so, I'm sure my parents would have been upset about that.
Yeah.
My dad was a huge cheapskate.
Did any of your family give you a hard time afterwards?
No,
good.
I was shaking. I mean, it really did rattle me.
Yeah.
Like, I felt silly and stupid, like at the end part, but like the whole experience left me just shaking. Like, we shortly after that, I think the day was kind of done.
Yeah.
And so, we all went back to my house, and I just remember sitting in the chair in the living room, and like it had been an hour or two later, and I was still like shaking. I remember my mom was like watching me for signs of shock.
Yeah.
And I think they like made sure I was drinking lots of water and stuff, and I never did have like any shock. But
yeah. Well, that's good.
I was just really shaky.
Because it's like, would your brother have given you like a hard time being like, well, I got up and down, but the fact that you were struggling after, I cannot or understand why
Yeah.
they will not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were actually all pretty nice about it.
Did you have any like fear of going out hiking again after that?
I don't think so. I mean, I never did do like a whole lot of hiking, but I think like when I do go out, like that's in my mind. Like,
Yeah.
you know, be cautious and make sure you don't. And like it was in my mind then too. Like be cautious and don't get in more than what you can handle. But they kind of kept
pushing you
encouraging me.
along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I probably would have turned back long ago and been like, no, I'm not doing
Done.
this.
Yeah.
Although like it's hard because like sometimes I'll have that caution kick in, like be careful. But I'm like, my curiosity too is like, just a little further. Just, you know, you want to know what's around the corner. You want to
Just
know
one more.
Yeah.
Just one more turn.
yeah.
Just, yeah.
Like I hate starting on a trail or something and having to like turn back halfway because I'm like, I don't know what's down there. What am I missing?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So
Very interesting. I'm a little bit bummed that you didn't get the helicopter
I
rescue
know.
experience.
no, I got gypped,
You
right?
did. That would have been really cool.
In my mind, I'm like, well, the only way they can get to me is by a
Obviously, by
helicopter.
helicopter. Yeah.
You know, I don't know much about search and rescue, and so I'm like, it didn't occur to me like they would just send
Someone up the mountain
some
to
people
get you.
up the mountain.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
my mind, I'm like, this is a terrible place to be. We shouldn't be up here. It's not safe. Like, no way are they going to send. Like, you know, I'm not thinking this is a place people climb.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do it all the time.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. They're probably like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There probably was some lecture about that too, about remember, it's always harder to go down than up, which I'm like, I know.
that's why I didn't come down.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted you to bring me down. So yeah, my mom, she came back because she was off hiking when all of this was happening.
Yeah.
So when she came back to the campground, she's like, she doesn't remember exactly, but she's like, I think the search and rescue was already there when she got back to the campground. And so she was like, what's going on? And they're like, well, Heather and Wendy are up there stuck. And she said her heart just dropped.
Oh, yeah. As a mother, like, oh, that'd
Yeah,
be a terrible nightmare.
Yeah.
Not knowing what really is going on.
Yeah. She said she was just so scared. So she took my sister. She's older than me. She's about 4 years older than me. And so my mom and my sister went and kind of like went and stood behind one of the horse trailers and just said a prayer. And she says she just felt this overwhelming sense that everything would be fine. So they go back out and they join everybody else. And she's like, from that point on, we were just laughing and joking. It was like a party. She's like, I'm sure people were like, what is wrong with this
like,
lady?
your daughter's in trouble.
Yeah, like your daughter is up there and aren't you concerned? But she's like, I just knew everything was going to be fine.
And
so I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, and then when she saw me like come up and, you know, she finally saw me, she says, then I think maybe it just kind of hit her a little bit emotionally and she started crying and stuff. And so, yeah, she gave me a big hug and she was just relieved that, you know, everything was fine.
Yeah.
Like it really, really is fine.
Well, it makes for an interesting family reunion.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes.
And definitely not something that everybody can say that they've been saved by search and rescue.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a claim that I never thought I would ever make.
Yeah. Well, when you told me that, I'm like, how many people can say that? Probably not very many.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my exciting thing. And
Yeah.
to look at me, most people probably be like, really? You don't look like somebody that would be that adventurous, but
Oh, but you've got a story for them.
that's right. I was more adventurous when I was younger.
Yeah, that was I. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. That was fun. And I enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll be seeing you around.
For sure.
And have a good night.
All right.
All right, bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Getting saved by search and rescue is something that I really hope I never have to experience. But I'm going to tell you what I have been doing the last little bit. So in 2020, the glorious 2020, my husband and I hit 10 years of being married, and we decided we were finally going to take a trip. We hadn't been on one, just him and I. We said, let's do it. Planned like a 10-day trip to Ireland, had all the Airbnbs booked, had planned out every day what we were doing, found the childcare, all the things. And you guys, we were scheduled to leave in April of 2020. So that was a bummer because obviously that got canceled. And I remember him saying, well, there's always year 15. And I was like, heck no. Like, I am not waiting 5 years to go on a trip. Like, I'm just not going to do it. And lo and behold, 5 years passed and we finally decided to take our anniversary trip. We have done a trip a few years ago. We did like a friend's trip and that was really fun, but we hadn't done anything just the two of us. And so we did not do our Ireland. Maybe that will be one day. We decided to go to the beautiful island of Kauai, and oh man, it was so beautiful and it was so fun. It was so nice to get away for a little bit and just do whatever we wanted. And yeah, it was so pretty. But what I was going to say was there was a time that we were on a hike. We were not prepared for this hike. We just decided to go in. We were at Waimea Canyon and we were like, let's just go look at its beauty. And we were doing that. And next thing you know, we were on this like trail. We knew kind of where we were going, but we didn't know exactly how far away it was. We thought we had an idea, but wasn't quite sure. Anyway, we started on this hike and did not have anything with us. My husband was in his like super just slick sandals, and I had one glucose drink with me to try and, help with my diabetes in case I came across a low blood sugar, which if you listen to last week's episode, I have a constant fear that I'm going to die all the time. Like, I usually am pretty prepared with diabetic supplies. This time I was not. And we are in this hike and my blood sugar is just plummeting. And I just kept being like, oh, it'll come back up. It'll come back up. And it was not coming back up. And I don't need to give you the long story. My favorite thing is to do short story long, but I'm going to try and keep this one more on the short side. So, short story short, my blood sugar was not coming up. And we were getting further into this hike thinking we were almost there. And so we just wanted to keep going and see. But I just said, like, in my gut, like, I think we should turn around. And we were going and my blood sugar just started like going down even more. And my husband is like, do you need to stop? Like, do we need to stop and see if it will correct itself? Like, what do you need to do? And I'm thinking, actually, I wasn't just thinking, I was saying out loud, like, no, like, I am going to push back on this. On the way back out, it was like straight uphill. It felt like you were going upstairs for quite some time, and it was super hot. So I'm sweating, like going uphill, and my heart is just like pounding, but I am like going as fast as I can, which when you have the diabetes, that will just plummet your blood sugar like right away. So I'm like, I'm willing to risk my life doing that. Like, I would rather do that, because if something happens to me on this trail, you need to be able to get out of here and not have to go very long to be able to come back and find me. And I was like, good thing, at least, on my watch, it's telling me how far we've gone. You'll be able to come back if you need people to come with you and come save me. Like, about how far in the trail. So I'm like going through all the steps of like, this is what I'm doing to try and protect myself and make it so that somebody can help me if I need help in the end. And it was a little scary there for a minute. And so I was like, am I going to be, search and rescue would not have had to come. I did have my husband, but it's just one of those moments that you're thinking like, is someone going to have to come in here and save me? And how will they know where I am? And how will like all the things? And especially like it was starting to get dark and I'm like, oh no. So anyway, this obviously I was not saved by search and rescue, but when I have moments like that, like those are thoughts that are going through my head of how will I be saved? if an emergency happens while I'm far on this trail in the forest. Anyway, so I'm glad that didn't happen. I made it out alive. I got to the car where all of my supplies were. We just really weren't prepared. But later on, we did go on a longer hike. It was beautiful, and I had all the supplies that I needed. So moral of the story for me is always just take my backpack, no matter what, with all my stuff in it. Anyway, but the other part of the story that I resonated with was when she was talking about like wanting to be saved by a helicopter, because wouldn't that be cool? And another thing that I got to do on my Hawaiian vacation was go on a helicopter. I know I have told you this. My husband, from his episode, he is a light flight nurse. He goes on helicopters every day, multiple times a day at his job. And it just sounds terrifying to me being in a helicopter, but I overcame that fear. We rode a helicopter through Kauai or around Kauai, and it was definitely an experience that I 1,000 out of 10 recommend if you ever go do that. It was just beautiful. The Na Pali coast was beautiful. We saw the Jurassic Park waterfall. Obviously, that was a big hit. We love Jurassic Park over here, so it was just a really good time. So I could just keep on talking and give you a play-by-play of every single day, all the things that we did, but you probably don't care to hear all about that. Maybe you do. And if you do, you can ask me about it because it was just so great. I will talk about it, and much needed. But now we're back. Kids are in school, and we are on to our regular routines and life. So if you ever want to go to Hawaii, I would definitely recommend Kauai. All right. Well, that is it for today's episode. I appreciate Heather coming on, telling that story. I did kind of have to laugh when she was talking about just being embarrassed, as she's walking down the hill, being held. And it just reminded me of Missy's episode, being in the airplane, being I'm totally fine now. We don't need to make a scene. Those are some of my worst moments, is making scenes when I feel I don't need to. So I feel for her on that, but made for a great story for me. If you have your own story you would like to share, please reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at Sippin' on Stories Podcast, or you can email me, sippinonstoriespodcast@gmail.com, and I can get back to you. So have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you, next week for another episode of the Sippin' on Stories podcast. Goodbye, Sipsters.